Just again, bitch. Okay, I'll be right back.
Adventures in Silverell. Tanner running away from us. Tanner, what are you doing?
I'm still here. I'm trying to see if
It's just so captivating now because you're in this.
is my video like still going?
Yeah, you're just in
Yeah,
this
it's some
really
good mood lighting.
spooky lighting.
Okay.
You are
So
beautiful.
like, if that's the case, I can pull my character sheet up on my phone and still have you guys on video, and it doesn't take me out of it. So there,
Oh,
simple
it's
solution.
not working on your laptop anymore.
No, because it refreshed the fucking page.
Yummy.
And it was like, oh, you don't have internet. Oh no, like it's I have it right here in front of me now.
Great. Welcome to Adventures in Silverell, episode 10. It's called Technical Difficulties. Campaign 5. What the Fae, the Odyssey of Chaos. Last we left off, our 5 adventurers were traveling through the Feywild Court of Summer, and they noticed a funky smell as they decided to head towards party member Desiree Elmara's say your last name.
Elmara.
Desiree Elmara's family tree, visiting her new family tree that she hasn't been to yet. But they noticed some decay and some nefarious activity happening, and they decided to be the heroes they are and intervene. They noticed a herd of rot beasts that were running around, causing decay to follow in the wake of everything that was happening, and they ended up taking them down, and in those moments they were surprised, sometimes they ambushed by what is known to the players, not the characters, as a bone stalker. It has a bone, like a skull face. It has a very like lean, tall body. Has feathers that are far too like spaced apart to allow it to fly. It was in a tree, and it dashed down at you guys. It smashed 2 skulls together, and it caused a dark sphere to appear, a darkness to appear, entrapping or encasing is a better word, not trapped. Encasing Tibbet and Sharp, and the players have rolled initiative, and they will be resuming from those places. So we start at the top of initiative order with Desiree.
Oh goodness. So how close in proximity, like feet wise?
The dark. Yeah, so you can't see the creatures they've created, or the creature. It's created a sphere of darkness that has encapsulated 2 of your allies and both of the carcasses of the rot beasts that have went down, that you had just taken down. So you can't see any of them, but there is like a 30 diameter sphere of darkness, like just set in the middle of the space. And you also saw the Bone Stalker dart into the darkness.
Was it there the whole time, or did it just appear now? Like, had I seen where everyone was previously positioned before it started, or did everyone just run in? I can't remember.
It put the darkness on top of the corpses that they were fighting. So that as that fight ended, it kind of like dropped its darkness on top of the 2 that were closest and kind of dashed in. Unclear if it's attacking them or just trying to get to the bones that are at their feet.
Okay. I think I was still wild shaped too, if I'm not mistaken. I think I was still a giant owl. So I think I'm gonna use 30 of my flying to just fly up above that central point where everybody's at and see if I can get an aerial view and just kind of hold my action.
Yeah, give me a perception check. Oh,
I think I'm riding somebody.
You were. I don't know if you got off of me or not, though.
I don't remember either. I don't think that I did. I don't think I specified ever doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, you going up with me then? Because I got a 26 on my perception, so I'm seeing something.
Yeah. As you kind of fly up, you feel or sign like gripping onto your kind of warm, not super hot feathers. As she ascends into the air, her eyes kind of like darting across this scape. Most of what you see is, the flush orange forest trees, and then also the giant, massive, decayed area that has been created. But then you notice, kind of moving through the trees. I'm pretty sure it was you who spotted it last time. It's rattling in the trees, which this time is highly a chance that it is a bone stalker. And with a 26, you said you can see it is moving up stealthily, but not a 26 stealthily, through the trees, approaching as well.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's it for me.
Perfect. And it is Earth sign. You can also make me a perception check.
I would like to very much. Like some information on this guy. That is a. Oh, I have disadvantage.
You can make it a straight roll.
Okay. It is going to be a 27.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would say advantage because the bird you're riding on also made a really good one, but then you do have disadvantage, so just a straight roll. But a 27, still absolutely magical. You spot what Desiree spots. You see a second bone stalker making its way, not so stalkery, or I guess stalkery, just not stealthily, through the tree line, kind of hopping from tree to tree.
Is there any way that I could know some information about bone stalkers, or is this just we're gonna find out as we find out?
Ooh, I can say you've never seen one before, but you can absolutely make me a history check.
Got you. Cool. That is a 5. The first one I rolled was an 18. But I ended on a 5.
You're like, and then you're like, no, I think that's a stalker of bone, not a bone stalker. I don't know if that's the same thing. Yeah, it is a fey creature, and I'll give you this. It is, it's not of the material plane. It is a fey creature, but it also just doesn't look like it's of this court. It's got this weird, dry, leathery skin. It's got the black feathers. It's got the skull head, like not wearing a skull on its head. Like its head is just like a skull. Hard. It's definitely animal. Can't really tell which one it is. Maybe like a bull, maybe a horse. It's kind of long, kind of big. It's nasty. I won't describe it too much. But it is funky. You can make me give me a wisdom saving throw.
I would love to. Wisdom saving throw. Wisdom saving throw. Is it's gonna be a 17.
17. Yeah, the little you have learned about the Fae, as you're pretty good about picking up environments and understanding like how that works. The ranger and you just kind of like puts those things in boxes in a certain way. And the thing you've learned about the Fae, the elements and the ice, fire, earth, air, you see this thing and it's like, is there another category that you could like find? Like it's like, oh, like it scratches your brain of like, is there a fifth court, or like is there, it just doesn't seem like it matches up into into anything that you like would. It's not primordial. It's not a primordial origins. So that's what's it's fucking you up. But yeah, it it's ugly and it's nasty. It does look evil. Not sick, but it looks evil.
So the bone. How far away is the bone stalker from us? We've flown up.
Yeah, you fly up, let's say 60 feet. It's in the trees and it's also moving towards you. It's maybe 100 feet away, given like distance from the party and also with the height. It's got about a turn or two, maybe a turn and a half, depending on how fast it's moving.
I'm going to, for the moment, just attack it with my trusty bow and arrow. I rolled a natural 1 for my first attack, and for my extra attack, I rolled a 12, but it was a 2 plus 10. So
okay, well, those don't hit.
Yes.
Need not even mention disadvantage. Those just don't hit.
Well, I didn't have disadvantage on that. It was just a straight roll. I was just bad.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say because of distance, and I was gonna ask what your bow range was, but then you just I didn't want to beat a dead horse with the
I think if it's within 120 feet, I'm fine.
Oh,
And then I have close range combat, so like if it's 5 feet away, I don't have disadvantage.
Nice. Okay, gotcha. And it is within 120 feet, so perfect. Right within that. So I had 100 feet, as I said. So great. Unfortunately, 2 misses, and then it's going to be Sylvie's turn. You see, the darkness kind of forms in front of you, and then you see your owl friend ascend into the air, and then you see arrows start to fly in a direction. You don't hear anybody get no, but you see him flying in a direction that gives you at least idea that something maybe over there.
Yeah, so I think what Sylvie's gonna do. Also, sorry, I didn't realize we started the stream when we started the stream. That's for everyone out there. Secondly, Sylvie is going to actually fairy fire the range that the darkness is. I know my teammates are in it, but I'm just trying to fairy fire everyone that's in the darkness as well to hopefully alleviate the darkness.
Mm-hmm. What is it? Is it a 10-foot cube?
It's a dexterity save.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's within the area of like a 20 by 20 cube.
Yeah, so 20 up, 20 side, 20 side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just depends on how big the darkness is.
Yeah, the darkness is 15-foot radius, so 30 feet in diameter. But if you put it in the center, you can assume that it that
geometry.
Thing is,
here we go.
So what's the save?
A dexterity 18.
Okay, so my Bone Stalker in the darkness is making that, and so is Tidbit. And he's gonna make the roll. He hasn't made it yet, but I'm just saying. And then also Sharp and Tidbit are also making the dex save.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if we fail, we all start glowing a color.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
I kind of wanted to glow. I actually don't.
What color? What color are they gonna glow?
I'm not glowing anything because I got a 19.
I'm glowing a lot.
Are you glowing Tidbit? Oh, okay. The Tidbit starts glowing this like light blue color, just like a nice little aura around him.
The Bone Stalker got a 13 with advantage. Yikes.
Oh, so he failed?
It did fail, yes. And so he's also glowing.
Also blue.
Blue.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then I'm going to, now that I can see the Bone Stalker, I am going to bonus action Arcane Augment attack reduction. So he will subtract my spellcasting modifier from the next attack he makes.
Ruthless. Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. It is Sharp's turn. Sharp, you're inside the darkness. You are not glowing, but everything else inside the darkness is glowing.
So I can see the outline of the bodies and Tidbit on the body and the Bone Stalker?
Yes, and mechanically, you'd have disadvantage for attacking in darkness, but you have advantage for attacking because of fairy fire, so now you're just making straight rolls while you stay in the darkness to attack. If you stay in the darkness to attack the Bone Stalker. But
okay, let's see. I'm gonna walk up and put my foot on the back of that dead nasty thing that Tidbit's no, like my foot like right behind him, almost like a rest for the back of his head, and grab off his back his weapon and cast Scorching Ray at it, because anybody can use it because it's spells stored in it.
Yes. 3 spell attacks. And it's your spell. Is it always your spellcasting modifier because you made the weapon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would always get a plus 10 spell attack bonus.
Ooh.
All right, so 22, 29, 20.
Hit.
How much is that? Sorry. 2d6. Okay. On the hit, sorry.
66.
Jeez Louise. Get 2 more up in here.
No one sees this.
Yes. 22.
22 points of damage.
Yeah, 22.
Gotcha.
And
Fairy fire, neat material plane fire.
bonus action, I'll put it back. Because they can't see me, so I'm sure you saw the outline of me just then. Okay, I'm done.
Oh yes, this thing. I will say, as you're kind of looking around, I'll give you this. Make me a. Oh, it's in the darkness. Give me a perception check.
5.
And that's right. You can't be sure, but it almost feels like that thing is either it's looking at you or looking past you. Like there's something like it's got its eyes set on something else outside of it and it's staring at it, or it's staring dead at you. You just can't really be certain if it can see you or not. But
Okay.
give me your turn.
Okay.
Perfect. And that is Sharp's turn. There's gonna be Tidbit. Tidbit, you light up. You see the Bone Stalker light up, and then you see the Bone Stalker light up in a different kind of way as you feel the cheese kind of take the weapon off your side and show you how it's done, and hurl some fire bolts at it. Let's not say fireballs. Very specific. Some fiery bolts of fire at this thing, and it just starts to. And you see it lights up for a moment. You see this thing just look mad.
Now that I can see this bone stalker, I'm gonna take my best guess at what 180 degrees away from that is and start heading that away. And just see if I can get out of dark. If I just keep running, is there a point where I can see again, or?
Yes, you are on top of the rot beast, so you would need to move 15 feet in your 180 direction. And that would get you to the... So I guess 16 feet would get you right outside of the darkness.
Okay. Now...
I think I can see you thinking.
If it's... if it's a magical darkness, but they're all glowing, can I see them?
Mechanical purposes, if you are inside the darkness, you have disadvantage. That thing is fairy fire, so you have advantage. So if you are in the darkness and attacking it with a spell attack, something you're rolling, it would be a normal roll. If you step outside of that darkness, you would still see the outline of that thing, and so you can still make the attack. So if you leave the darkness... Oh, sorry, continue.
To cast a spell on something I see.
Oh, yes, you can see it. You have that sight component met.
Okay. And would you call a bone stalker humanoid?
I call it a creature. I wouldn't call it a humanoid
creature.
I don't know if I call it a
creature.
humanoid. I believe that its qualification when it comes to humanoid would be fey. So it is, but it is a creature. So it would fall into those things. But it's not a person. It's not a monster. I know spells at high levels get into those very specific semantics, and so I'll give you that clarification. It is a creature, though, so creature spells work, and you do have sight.
Okay, I want to cast blindness then.
Okay. And that is a... I'm sorry.
It's a con save.
Con save.
If it's blind and I'm glowing, does it still see me?
You'll never know because I rolled a dirty 20.
Oh, okay.
It might not be blind either. Like it made this darkness. It might be a thing that can do that.
Yeah, I imagine it can see through darkness, so it might just lessen some of its view. I don't know.
Yeah, there are some... everyone's got enough magical knowledge. You know that there are some things, and also there are some mages who have the ability to cast magical darkness that they alone can see in. So you do know that there are some things that prefer to hunt in, the darkness that they carry with them. So that is
I assume like
very
blind sight.
possible.
Hmm.
They're also
Or
that is
true
also
sight.
Yeah.
blind sight, true sight. You got tremor sense.
Ooh.
It's all kinds of funky things that allow things to see you. But I can say that it. These are accurate assumptions.
Well, Tidbit's just hoping for the best at this point.
No worries. You try to cast blindness, and you see its eyes start to the space where its eyes are lit up from the fairy fire start to darken, but then it kind of like flashes back out, and so it is able to hold its vision. Also, you note, make me a Arcana check, which you may be good at. Who knows? Let's find out.
Okay, 17 minus 1 for a 16.
Not bad. This you can tell if this thing is proficient in resisting magic. Spells. It's good at dealing with spells. So there's some resistance there. But you note that as your spells like taking effect on it, you can feel its influence not set in, but it does feel a little bit weakened by that, or you can feel the relationship between it.
As a free action, can I communicate that to everybody using the telepathy that I think is still active from last episode?
Rary's telepathic bond, whatever his first name is. But yeah, a summer song special. That's season 1 girlies know. Yes, you can relay that message telepathically. We've got what is it? Is it this one that we used to do, Scott, for telepathic?
Oh yeah. Oh no, that was for if you want to speak out of character.
Oh,
Out of game. It was like
we used to have we'll look it up sometime, but there used to be a thing for it. Anyways, but yes, you relay that message, free action, telepathically to the party that they have magical resistances, which everyone now knows. And then the Bone Stalker inside the darkness is going to take its turn, and it is going to. Scott, you said in the darkness?
Yeah.
There's a cheese.
I foot planted in the corpse.
You didn't have to say it like that. But okay, yes. It is okay, so the Bone Stalker in front of you is going to approach, and it is going to first is going to scream at you, and then it's going to slash at you. Let's get into it. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, the first thing I rolled was a nat 20. That's kind of crazy.
Oh, no.
But I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Great. Another war hole.
Right?
This is how it happens.
Bye-bye costume.
Shh. 18.
You feel a fear start to set in on you, but you kind of shake it off and you are unafraid. But you do take 34 points of damage.
That was scary as shit.
34 points of psychic damage. So it kind of like screams at you, and you don't like take any physical damage, but your brain's all fucked up. So your costume actually is safe now. It's safe.
There you go.
And then the second attack is.
You mean my skin?
Yes, your skin.
Only
you can hear me.
ahead of ourselves with this conspiracy.
Only you can hear me. I've seen you take your top off. A 27 on the second one.
Barely misses.
It's gonna be
Barely misses.
12 points of necrotic damage.
Ew.
That one does give you a little, not a war hole, but like a little like mold spot, just like a little speck.
Not the war mold. All right.
And that is its turn. And then the second Bone Stalker, you see advancing. Well, the people who see the second Bone Stalker see it advancing very expeditiously in a dashing action through the trees. And back to top, Desiree, you see that
Is it dashing away or towards the fighting?
towards the fighting.
Okay. I'm gonna use how far down? How like if I flew directly down, how much movement would I have to use? Because I'm 30 feet up right now.
You're 30 feet up. It was 100 feet away. It's dashing 60, so it is 40 feet out. It's up in the trees. So I think you just have to. I think you just have to get to it. Like it's probably even with you because it's in the trees at this point. So it's kind of high. It's higher in the air. It's not on the ground. So you could fly at it as it's kind of like you can like cut it off.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna fly 40 feet at it, and then I'm going to make a attack with my talons. That's gonna be a 22 to hit.
Oh yes.
So that's gonna do 18 slashing damage.
Sheesh.
And then I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to fly 20 feet directly above it this time, above this one, to hopefully give Ursan a chance to shoot at it next. And I don't provoke opportunity attacks, so we're good.
Perfect.
And
That's
we
it
are
for
over
me.
the second Bone Stalker, not
Yeah,
the
not the
dark
one in the darkness.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, and as that happens, it goes just as Erica says. Desiree flies up as a giant owl, flies directly at it, hits it with its talons, kind of like it's like stopping to like hit a wall. It kind of like pulls its wings back. Talons go out and clash at it, and then it flies up, and you have like the perfect shot down as you're like, or the perfect view of it as you're like looking back. It's very like but old. So you're like but you know.
Also, just so I have a better picture, who is highlighted or highlight or whatever in the darkness?
Highlighted and in the darkness is the Bone Stalker, and just the Bone Stalker is highlighted and in the darkness. Sharp is in the darkness but not highlighted, and then Tidbit is highlighted but not in the darkness.
Got you.
Woo.
And Sylvie is neither.
And Sylvie is pretty and chilling, just floating.
Okay, cool. I have a better picture now. Thank you. I will take my my 2 attacks on the Bone Stalker that Desiree and I are focusing. First one's going to be a 23 to hit,
Yes.
and then the second one is going to be a 24 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Damage will be 8. Okay, it's going to be 5 piercing, and then 11. So 11. It's like 16, and then plus a d6 extra piercing. 20 piercing damage total with those 2 attacks.
Nice.
Yeah. And that is, I think I'll drop. There's no reason for me to continue to have locate object on. I am going to drop that and cast Hunter's Mark on the one that I should have done it earlier, but hey,
That really confirmed. You're like, okay,
yeah. I'll cast Hunter's Mark on the one that we're going on right now. And does it need to do anything for that?
No, I don't think.
No,
I think
no,
it
sick.
save or anything.
Cool. And that it's within 90 feet, right?
Yes.
Sick. That'll be me.
Perfect. Our nature duo goes, and then it's Sylvie.
Yeah. So the one that's in front of Scott or Cheddar, it's taken damage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I get told that.
I'm a little skeptical to do this, but I am gonna cast Toll the Dead on it.
Okay.
which is a wisdom save.
That is going to be a 21.
Yeah, it saved.
Okay.
Did it use the
oh.
attack reduction last time?
It did not. And I will
Okay,
do it
well,
next time.
yeah,
Also, I
then
think
I
it was
won't.
still, it rolled some high numbers.
Yeah, it rolled like a natural 20 or something.
Yeah, one was a 20, and then one was a nat 20,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
one was like a 25 or something. So it was kind of crazy.
that part. Yeah, in that case, I am going to spell augment sharp. So whenever you're casting a spell, like a spell attack, you can add 5 to that.
Do you have to see him to do that?
Oh,
I hate to be that
yeah,
guy.
because he's not.
I'm
No,
sorry.
he's not lit. Let's see.
You do have to see him. Thank you.
Yeah.
I am
Inspiration.
in the dark.
I'm sorry.
Inspiration.
It doesn't work with inspiration, and that I
Takes-
can yell it at him. I gotta see.
Takes a village.
It does. Okay, then yeah, scratch that. Next.
All right. That was Sylvie. It is Sharp's turn. You see, there's the Bone Stalker stands. It actually is really close to you now. The Bone Stalker is in front of you, and it has
It's
attacked
within
you.
5 feet. Crap, it's right there. I can see the outline. It's really scary, but I can't tell if it's looking at me or away from me. It's a weird illusion bird man thing. Shit, that really hurt. It hurt my brain. Crap. I'm going to turn to Tidbit. I can't let him hurt Tidbit. He's God's little kid, and I need God. So I'm going to touch him and cast haste, and then, that would be an action. Never mind. I'm going to cast... I'll cast haste on him and then just try to grab him and go. I'm going to haste him so he doesn't provoke opportunity attacks, and I have the mobile feat, so I don't provoke opportunity attacks. So,
Okay,
boom.
I think the Tibbet is not close enough to that thing. I think you're the closest thing to the Bone Stalker. Tibbet is put himself.
Let's not waste haste then.
Yeah.
I'm running, grabbing him. Like, I'm going to do that. Like, he leans, looks like he's about to fall, but he's like running up and like bump him on his head.
Keeping up to it. Okay, gotcha. And what? You have 40 feet of movement, right?
Yes.
Cool. Are you taking the full 40?
Yes. I want to get out of this darkness.
Gotcha.
And what's around the darkness? Is this an open clearing? Are there trees, mounds, rocks?
It's at this point you're not in that where decay. It's just there's a bunch of felled trees where the rot beast had been stampeding, but not decaying things because of the aura of purity that Tibbet had done. So it's just a bunch of it's like a naturally cleared area, a clearing from felled trees.
Okay. Just gonna turn back this cloud with him electrified inside in blue and reach out and cast Thunderwave and a 3rd level slot. I have the +5 plus my +10. And that's a nat 20. So, with advantage because he's very fired. So that's 35. And that's going to be 2d8, 3d8, 4d8. So 8, 16. It's going to be 32. Then I'll roll them. Yes! 58 points of thunder damage. Oh, wait, no, it's a Constitution saving throw.
We're taking it. 58. Wait, I'm doing math on my end. So 20. 32 on the first part, and then you rolled 26. I see. There it is. Boom. Okay. Oh my gosh.
And that's it. Just gonna stand there, just on guard, waiting for that thing to come running out.
Yeah, you see, you hit it with the thunder wave, and you can see it's still like lit up. You can see parts that are aglow falling to the ground, and the light dissipating off the parts of it falling to the ground and dissipating. It is not dead, but it is like there's a lot less of it. It is hanging on. It was already kind of ugly and death-like, but it is hanging on for dear life. Feathers are falling. Perfect. That is sharp. Then it's gonna be Tidbit. You get scooped up by our cheese, and you're moved. He comes out of that darkness at 15 feet movement, and then that is what 25 feet left. So you're 25 feet away from the darkness sphere.
Okay. I'm on top of a cheese. And is Sylvie nearby?
Above you,
Yeah, I'm just up.
Up. Okay, then I
I think
cast.
all your party's up actually.
How far up are they? How far up in the air are all you guys?
I wouldn't say more than 30 feet.
I think we're 30 or 40 feet.
Yeah, we're 30 feet up, but we're probably like close to 100 feet away from you guys,
Yeah,
I
we
would
got like
guess.
triangle Pythagorean shit
Yeah.
happening.
All about 30 feet in the air, but the bird and the old man they're actually like 6 feet away from you.
Okay, then Tidbit is going to just focus on the cheese and the fairy for the moment and cast Bless. And
Lit.
we're going to drop the concentration on Aura of Purity and send the blessing of God into this cheese and fairy.
Exactly what you wanted.
Tidbit's just going to shout that out. You have been blessed by God. Do not waste what Tidbit has given you.
Heard tidbit.
And then the enveloped bone stalker is going to attack. It will have the -5 this time. It is screaming at a cheese. Oh, a 10, I assume, doesn't hit. It was a 15 -5.
Yes.
Love that. And then its second attack is going at the fairy. A 17.
That is my AC.
Damn you.
The tie goes to Defender.
Damn you. Who made these rolls up? All right. That is its 2 attacks. And then the second Bone Stalker is going to go, and it is going to look up at the bird and try to find a Beauty and the Beast joke in there somewhere. I wasn't quick enough. All right, and it's going to shoot its Psychic Blast, 1 at each of them. It doesn't have advantage, unfortunately. Okay. An 18. Okay, not bad. 18 to hit the bird.
That hits.
Yes, it does. And then, oh, that for sure hits. 16 plus 8 to hit Ursine.
Yeah.
Seems like it's enough.
Yeah.
I need you both to make wisdom saving throws. Goofy.
No way.
I got a 17.
You take 11 points of psychic damage, and you are not frightened. And
I'm still flying! We're gonna fly a little bit lower to the ground, though, after this.
I got a 21.
okay, you pass, and you take 18 points of psychic damage, and you're not frightened.
How many points of psychic?
18.
Gotcha.
The thing
And I
looks
have
at
to-
you, it
I have to roll
screams,
concentration.
and your head hurts.
I lose concentration. Every time I use Hunter's Mark, I lose concentration before I get to use it.
You got a hunter's mark, then an attack. Then you're just like, all right, I got that one attack in, and then after that, it's like, it's gotta hope.
Oh yeah.
That is gonna be the end of its turn. Boom. Top of turn order. Our bird girl.
I'm gonna do the same kind of motion again with the fly in and attack with the talons again.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's a 19 to hit.
That hits.
And then Talon's gonna do not as much this time. 14 slashing. And then instead of flying up again, now I'm going to fly down to the ground because I have 8 hit points as this owl. So I'm hoping I can land in a spot that will still give Ursine like a chance to hit it. So that's what she's gonna look for as she flies down, as an opening off of her back for him to still attack.
Gotcha. And then at the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. And Ursine, you're up. This tag team duo is like built for each other. Oh my god. See that cord go flying? Desiree swoops in, kind of building battle strategy, swoops in, hits him with the claws, and this time you are flying down. And it kind of like you fly down and then you swoop out just a little bit. So again, you can almost making that same motion, you just kind of can turn over your back and you can make those shots if you like.
I'll go ahead and just pop another hunter's mark. Why not? And then I'll roll to hit. Splendid. First attack is 24, and then another 24.
Hits. Actually, the second one missed. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I rolled 2 24s, and then I rolled 2 6s after that. For that's fucking wild. Okay. I keep wow. That's 23 piercing.
23. Ooh.
Okay.
And then how's it looking?
Oh, it looks real bad, but as you say that,
Well,
go ahead.
I'm gonna do an action surge.
Ooh.
And then I'm gonna do my attack and extra attack again. Just really drive it into the ground if I can.
These will be at disadvantage. As you make those first 2 attacks hit, it's going to use, or the second attack hits, it's going to use its reaction, Power from the Conquered. When it is hit by an attack, it can become invisible until the end of its next turn. So it's going to protect itself, but then you end up attacking it again, so it just works out. So you can still, it is not fast enough to move, so you can, you're like, you see it blinking out of existence, and that's probably what prompts the action surge to be like, not today, bitch. And you can load those 2 shots, but disadvantage.
Got you. So the first one will be a 16 to hit, and then the one after that will be a dirty 20 to hit.
Dirty 20 hits.
Got you. $15 piercing.
Woo! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, yes. Boom. Yeah, Desiree hits it, swoops down, you kind of turn back, you fire up 2 shots, you like intuit that it's about to like do something like survivally, and you like start to make those second shots, you see it goes invisible, you plant those 2 shots the same place that you put the last 2. First one goes a little awry, second one goes straight through it. At first nothing happens, and then you see the Bone Stalker reappear as it falls over out of a tree lifelessly onto the ground, dead.
Very cool.
You
Desiree says in giant owl, "Let's go!" that nobody can hear or understand.
Just screeching.
Ursine says,
Right.
"Let's go!"
Just remember that cough, that smoke cough. All right, and that is going to be Ursine and Sylvie. It's on you.
Me turn. All right, so I'm just like kind of looking down at this one that's still in this darkness, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna start out by I'm essentially going to dive bomb this thing. I'm going to shoot Eldritch Blast, all three, out at it as I fly down, and I come in for a melee attack with my mace.
He's so dramatic.
Of course. 27 to hit. 20 to hit. Dirty 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then 19
Mm-hmm.
for the Eldritch Blast. Okay, I'm going to roll them. All right. 10 plus... Ooh, I rolled 2 10s. 20... 26 force damage.
Beautiful. Lovely. Do you want to
And
roll
then-
that? You want to keep swinging?
I mean, yeah. Do I need to keep going on it?
No. But do you want to? I mean,
Yeah, actually, I'll keep going. Yeah. So then I come down and I fling my chain mace out and just mollywop it into the ground.
Beautiful. Tippet, you can feel the power the power of your god surging through someone right now, but you don't see anything as you see Sylvie for a moment yell and like almost like matching pitch with the bird. Maybe they're having a moment. Who knows? Maybe it's like a flying thing. But he yells and he releases his first Eldritch Blast, and then he vanishes into the darkness. And the next thing you see is Sylvie is standing atop. Next thing everyone sees is Sylvie standing atop a mass of flesh, bones, perhaps. It's almost dust at this point. As Sylvie, like the darkness drops, and Sylvie is still just swinging the mace into the ground, the dirt, at swing.
At this point, yeah.
And it's one of those moments in like stops, fixes himself. Like the skull of that. The head skull of that bone stalker is not in pieces, but it has been powdered. It has been hit so hard and so aggressively with so much force damage and the backing of that mace. It is just pulverized into bone stalker dust. I don't know if anyone wants to put that in their backpack.
I'll scoop a little.
But yeah, you recognize that, and then you can now see the remains of the rot beast, and you see the Bone Stalker corpses. The party sits in this moment of calmness, and you all like look around and you see each other, both halves of the party recognizing what the other half has done, and it's just like.
I feel like Des would definitely like break the silence first, as she would like fly back over and let Ursine get off of her. She unwild shapes, and she'd go up to Sylvie and go, I think you got him. As Sylvie's still pummeling.
Oh yeah, Sylvie comes up, dust all over her face. I'm like, yeah. Do you want to check this out? I feel like you should be writing notes because this was once an intact being, and look now, powder.
Yeah,
everywhere.
To be honest, I definitely would like to. And she's gonna stick a finger in her mouth and get it nice and wet, and then she's gonna touch Sylvie's cheek, and then the finger's gonna immediately go back into her mouth, and she's gonna.
I didn't mean taste it. But
no, it's always part of the research process. Of course, if it is a living creature, that is for my process.
I'm not going to question that.
If you don't taste it, how are you going to be able to learn everything? Am I right?
Well, I mean, that's fair. I've inhaled a lot of it at this point.
I mean, wouldn't you just love to know what Olivine tastes like?
No.
I feel like that's something Sharp would say.
Yes.
It just has to be like straight vinegar, right? All that evil in there. I mean, this is
unwashed
nothing like
evil.
that.
You're right. Very vinegary.
Des, make me a you can make me a survival check, or you can make me an investigation check as you like taste the blood.
Been too much vinegar around Silver now lately.
I got a 19. Gotta love the reference.
That's a good one. A 19. You know that oh my god, phlegm. It doesn't taste familiar. and pointedly, you've tasted a lot of things. Like this doesn't taste familiar, but also it tastes. It doesn't taste familiar as in you haven't tasted it before, but it does taste familiar as in it tastes of and or related to the Fae. So it has that like Fae zazz to it, but it's like not something you've tasted before or have like, also looking at it. Oh my gosh, I'm really choking over here. Also looking at it, outside of tasting the blood, you can see you've never seen a creature like this. This is new to you. Anyone else who would like to make a investigation or survival to inspect the Bone Stalkers or the Rot Beast, you're welcome to do so. I know some people were able to do that last time, and some people weren't able to. So if you want to, explore those in any way, you're welcome to.
I got a nat 20 on my investigation, putting me to a 27.
Of the Rot Beast? Or of the
Bone Stalker.
Bone Stalker? Perfect. Okay. Anyone else on the Bone Stalker?
Anyone else want a Bone Stalker? What?
Anyone else?
Get a taste.
Did they have instruments on them? Is that what they were using to make their noises earlier?
What is an instrument? That the thing that they were doing to do that motion was skulls that of things
gotcha.
that they would slam together and crush, which is freaky. So Tanner / Sylvie, as you're kind of like investigating this thing, you hear Desiree talking about it. It kind of like it reminds you of stories that you've heard from your mom. There's like your mom is like, the HB in her eyes, she's the HBIC of the Fey world. Like she is she's like evil incarnate of the Fey world. But there is a place that is like the Fey that her evilness there would look like niceness in comparison to how everything else operates, because everything there is just so antithetical to the Fae. It is like evil. It is a place only there's only like darkness and death there. There are monsters there that hunt for the pleasure of it. It is a place known as the Shadowfell, and it is like if the Fae is like happy and whimsical, then the Shadowfell is a dark, gritty noir novel where everyone dies and everyone dies. Kind of vibe. Like no one's singing songs there. It's all just oh.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So
I rolled a survival on the little animals.
The Rot Beast?
Little cuties. Yeah.
Little cuties.
They're little cuties. Well, not anymore. They're kind of dead. But I rolled a 30 for survival with disadvantage.
It's a 30 with disadvantage. Casual. What do you want to know about the Rot Beast, Andrew? I know they're born.
Yeah, how old they are. What their favorite food was. Really like if they if they were like normal beasts before, and if they were like afflicted with some sort of illness. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're young. You can looking at like what you know about animals and and plants and like how they grow and like watching them, you could tell if this animal was probably in its maybe like adolescence ish, like it was in the process of growing. You can tell from you're getting into this process. Like you rolled a 30, you gotta know some stuff. You're like your hands in, you got your helpers who are hands in, your little blights are there like poking and prodding at this thing, like holding different pieces of it up to you. Because also they aren't affected by the kind of bad stuff. That so it's young. Its intro, like its digestive tract would reveal that it likes to eat fresh things. Like that is what it prefers to eat, fresh vegetation. The problem is that you noted that everywhere it goes, it destroys stuff, so it has to always go to new places. You could guess that it is a territorial or herd-based beast because the decay is only in a certain area. It's not just like wild and rampant. It's like very consolidated, as if they started somewhere and just kind of working themselves out because that was the best way to eat food. it's like a spiral kind of pattern, which you can kind of note as you like look back towards the decayed area. It's kind of like a crop circle of decay. And what was the last thing is? Oh, and it is not that they are, and it's something that kind of like is weird to you, but it reminds you of Penelope's sentient flora. It's like if you took one of those plants, as wild as those plants are, because they talk and they survive off of like how that land works. If you took one of those plants out of that environment and put it into a regular forest, it would probably dominate that forest because it is just out of place, but it wouldn't be doing anything that it wouldn't do in its regular biome. And that is how you feel about this rot beast. Like it's not that it's bad or destructive. It just doesn't belong here. And Sylvie mentioned it earlier. It gives the smell reminded him of the Court of Autumn. The Court of Autumn would be a great place for a rot beast. It looks like it would enjoy like being around other things that are dead and not like destroying other things. And the Court of Autumn would be a place for it to be. But it has ventured from that place, which is wild. But yeah, so they're young. They are not malicious, just lost, and they are territorial herd-based beasts who have been displaced somehow. Global warming?
Splendid.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair.
Okay.
I'll definitely like follow suit, but I definitely want to talk to Desiree while we like walk.
I feel like as they start to move out to Desiree would be kind of looking back at the land, like sadly almost, like knowing that this part of her home is now like decaying and horrible when she's so in tune with nature, and she would feel like a little pain moving on for it. And I'm sure that'd be evident on her face.
Yeah, and you had mentioned Desiree. You had mentioned last episode. I don't know if it was in character or not, but you had mentioned that you have the ability to fix this problem if you give it enough time. You can use the second version of plant growth.
Yeah, will it stay like this though, or is the decay going to continue to like decay? Like, is it going to spread, or is it kind of isolated?
Make me a. You can do nature or survival with advantage.
23.
You think that you are powerful enough to reverse the effects of this thing. Like you can cleanse the decay and either restart the regrowth or like just put it back to the way it was before. It would just take time and effort.
Yeah, it's gonna take 8 hours, and I feel like that's gonna be hard to convince the party.
Well, you got 2 nature girlies on your team and three people in the party from the Fae, so you got the numbers.
True.
This is the question: will Desiree speak up for herself, or will she just do what the team wants?
Right.
But I will say that Ben and Andrew, both your characters clock this. Your wisdom is high enough. Ben, you just the 20 just tells you like something's obviously off with Desiree. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that like, oh, there's weird forest girl. And Andrew / Ursign, I feel like you recognize that, but also I feel like you feel that connection too. Like it's not your garden, but you are also a gardener, so you're like, dang, that sucks. And so you recognize that. Probably goes over the head of the 2 party members who are just trying to do something. And like what? But yeah, you all start to move. Desiree and Ursign have to lead the way because you're going to that place.
They have to lead the way, but Sharp's egotistical, so Sharp's just gonna fly in the direction he thought until someone says something to him.
As this like feeling manifests in Desiree, she's gonna turn and go, I hate to be a bother. I know a big thing about friendship is not inconveniencing your other friends, but I just don't think I could leave my home like this, and I know that we have other business to attend to, and I do want to see my family, But I think I need to fix this, and it's okay if no one wants to stay behind with me. I mean, I'm very, very used to being
I'll
abandoned.
stay behind with you, Desiree.
Whoa. We are not splitting up, okay? Not in this weird fucking place.
Well, you're the one floating on like you know where you're going.
Well, how much time do you need, Desiree? You need like 10 minutes?
Well,
I
what would we have to do?
think I just need to sit here and meditate for a while. And usually, when I kind of whisper to the plants, it helps them, you know? Just
How
they
long
need
is
to
a
feel
while?
heard like us.
How much time you need?
If I start now, I'll let you know when I'm finished. How about that? I mean, a big part of friendship is compromise, after all. I did read that once.
Why don't you compromise with the time?
Very tidbit answer.
8 hours.
8 hours?
That's why you weren't saying anything.
Wait, you want to sit here in the middle of nowhere for 8 hours just to fix... I mean, that can't be more than 100 feet of dead plants. Doesn't nature just... It'll fix itself, right?
Hadn't it been going on for miles, though? Out of character question. Because they had made it all the way so I can see it from a super long distance.
It is a lot of area. It is miles of area, but it's also like not. It is a lot of area, but also it is not because the Fae is huge. But it is like it's like oh like this is
more than
a
100
big
feet.
blemish on my face. It's like yeah, and it's like oh that's my skin, but like relative to all the skin on my body, it's like oh, okay. But
Is it more than a half-mile sphere?
It's pushing like maybe 0.75. Like
Okay. I can do up to half a mile of it. I can heal it all.
yeah, and if you get some friends to help you got some mages with you, maybe they can throw some things on it to help bolster that up. But we will take some time for our players to figure that out as we let our characters to figure that out as we let our players go to the bathroom. So we'll be right back, my friends. Relieve yourselves now. We're back! And we are all relieved because we went to the bathroom. And we find the players also relieved, or the characters also relieved because they have finished combat. They have sat down, looked out at the, some would say destroyed. Some parts destroyed, some part decayed forest that looks out in front of them. But some may see destruction and some see potential. I turn it over to the players as they decide how they're going to fix this problem before they move on to the next one, because there's always something else coming down the line here in Silvernell. Who would like to go first?
I feel like we go back to the moment of her being like, because friendship is all about compromise, right? Right before the bathroom break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what, Des? I feel like I could help you out with this situation we found ourselves in. If the others can entertain themselves.
I mean, thank you, Sylvie. That does logically make sense since earlier you did say you are my friend. So, not that you're entitled to do that, but it is sort of expected.
Oh, that's an expectation of our friendship.
I mean, that means that the next time that you need something, that I get to be the first one to help you.
We have plenty of time to discuss this a little further. I think for this to work out, that's more of just a you do for me, I do for you. We'll eventually build an implicit trust between us, I hope.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense. I'll make sure to write that down after I'm done fixing the trees and everything.
Oh yeah, and as Des sits down to get with that, Sylvie will start to kind of just dance and float around Des a little bit and start weaving the magic around her, kind of boost a little bit.
If they love that.
And right before I cast that, I will pick the furthest point, up to 150 feet that I can see in front of me to focus on, so that I can get even further down as much area as she can take in this cast. And so when I'm done, all the land will be enriched and yield twice of anything that it would normally yield.
I'm here for it. What does it look like as you start to cast that spell?
I imagine she would sit down, it would take her a second, but she would sit crisscross applesauce, but have to kind of, get her legs up underneath her since they're all wood-like. and she would kind of put her hands up and kind of start like and find like her inner peace before she would slowly like reach down next to her and probably like the first root or vine or like thing that she could pull towards her. She would just kind of like lean in and start to whisper with like a big smile on her face really quietly to where no one could hear, and it would start to, no matter what color it is, like have a yellowy orange glow faintly around it.
Nice. And you have Sylvie kind of dancing around, flirting atop you.
And I imagine as she keeps whispering, it would spread like that glow as time passes. That's how you would be able to see like the areas that are healing.
Yeah. Beautiful. As you kind of like, you're praising the sun as you use, and then you kind of reach in and you grab the roots and start to you kind of like start to put your own like essence into the plant growth. That's like one of the weird ways of how druids work. It's like you channel magic through yourself, kind of like clerics do. You channel magic through yourself, and so you kind of send this magic. You put your life force into it, and you start to see it like seep into the ground. And first, all you see is like almost like veins under skin. Instead of it being blue, they're obviously like this red, orange color starting to like light up under the ground. You still see the decay and whatnot, but you see those roots starting to glow, going from a dim to like, just like as time is building up, it's getting brighter and brighter. Who else is doing anything as this magic act is happening? Tidbit, what are you doing?
Well, I'm still on top of a cheese, I believe. But I think Tibbe is taking this opportunity to kind of slouch more sideways, start to go into a half lean, half lay down on top of Sharp. And just, I'm just kind of, I could just muttering along. Tidbit is okay with this course of action. We have been working quite hard. A break is in order.
Yes, I guess so. Alright, you comfortable up there?
Oh, quite, actually. It's a little confusing.
Okay, hold on. And I'm just going to dash upwards as fast as I can. Just flying up into the air as long... I'll try to count it out in my head so I can get up to 10 minutes, leave myself a little time to get as far as I can up in the air and look around, remembering those little drawings and notes from Desiree's book about the Fae, but specifically that specific Sanjay's impact. Is there any way for me to see anything as far as I can see that resembles those notes or drawings?
I gotcha. Make me a perception check, and you have advantage.
Okay, did you say you flew up for 10 minutes straight?
No, like 9 minutes and something, because I need some time.
Also, the frog is like, this is such a nice...
Literally, indention hard.
Alright, I'm going to, with my wisdom, have to use lucky and re-roll that even with an advantage. Better. And then, also... I'm probably going to have to use a flash.
You're still blessed.
Oh,
you get a D4 from that.
Yeah.
Might have to use a flash of genius. Who knows?
17.
17, perfect. You soar up. First, you soar up and you see trees. Well, you see decay around you. You kind of like break that tree line and you start to fly up and you see trees. It's actually ungodly how many trees you see as you fly up, and I think it's for the first time that that Sharp is really realizing like the size of the Fae. You've only ever seen it in pictures or heard about it, but you're just realizing like how sheerly huge it is. It's almost like looking off of over by the screaming slopes of Agony and like towards that area of Silvernell, and like looking over the rest of it. It has that expansive feeling. But even this just feels like it goes on for so long. So as you're flying up, you just see trees, and you're looking one direction because you're looking north. That's where you know the impact is. Trees, and then you see gray. And you start to see it's hard to see because it's so far away. It's like looking at a city in the distance. You can see Statue City. There are these pillars that are erect out of the ground. They are cut out of marble and obsidian, just like solid stones. You see some of them are made out of iridescent stones that change colors. It's really hard to make out what they are, but you can just see them erected in the distance. You're looking. You stop using what a human would consider eyes. You're touching into full mechanical vision here. Your binoculars are clink 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 clink. Lenses are locking in inside your suit, and you see past the gray of the city. You see a mountain range that starts to build up, which you would know would be the beginnings of Sanjay's impact. And that is there's a mountain range that blocks off the Statue City from the Sanjay's impact or from Alien Forest, which is where Sanjay's impact was.
Just gonna say, not even knowing I'm saying it out loud. There it is.
What?
The horizon.
Oh, yes. It's big.
Yeah, it's so big. Probably the biggest horizon I've ever seen.
I don't think that's how horizons work.
I have to tell somebody. I'm going to cast out Leomun's secret chest. The chest appears in front of me, kind of floating in the air. I opened it, grabbed that same scroll. Just going to tell somebody how great that horizon is, Tidbit. You should talk to your god. You distract yourself for a minute.
As you open that up, you receive the message that is in there that I am now pulling up. Here it is. It says, you said all those crazy things that you said last time. Remember, you're like, yeah, fuck you. Yeah. You receive a message that you receive the paper, and it says, your insubordination is unamusing. However, due to recent events, Operation Brine has begun. Cherry Pie has begun mass production of the song Gain Reconnaissance. Lay low. Period. What you and your brain knows is you've been effectively benched.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna write back. All right, I'm gonna write back, and I'm gonna say, yeah.
Also, make me a intelligence saving throw to see if you know.
No, flash of genius and lucky. I've done this quite a while. I need to remember. Here. Better. And flash of genius gives me +5. That's 16. Am I still blessed?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This gives me a 17 again. No, it did better. 17, 18, 19, 20. Dirty 20.
20. You are... The information that is privy to you as an operative of Van Greech is always through someone else. You always get enough information that you can work off of. And you've always hated that. You've never liked that people just don't give. You've always been of the mindset, if you just tell me all the things, it's easier for me to fix the problem. That's your programming. So because of that, you've always done the extra work of when you meet with people, you always just gain as much intel as possible. So you know that the brine, where the brine fits into Olavine's grand plan and what that means for his time. So you know that means that he has vanished, and so Cherry Pie has stepped up to do the brining act. But also you know that the extra part of that is that Olavine himself is actually not dead. He plans to return via some wet queen. It's some sea bitch. It's always a changing name that he calls it, but he's gonna come back as this powerful underwater diva. And so you know that this is just a part of the plan. So when now when you hear people talk about Olivine being dead, that's one of those things where you're like, yeah, sure, okay. Of course he wants you to believe that.
I'm gonna write back. Let's not be a wise guy. Everything you do with Olivine in your little metal home is to further your advances of getting back home. You want Wite Sanji's impact. You didn't think I should live to do it. I'm already fucking there. Roll, 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 lick, scroll, doesn't really matter. Put it back in the chest and slam it shut.
It's just a wet scroll.
It's just a wet scroll. Does my tongue even produce saliva if I don't taste it? Too many questions.
The tongues are cut out. And just
It's a fake tongue. And then I'm just going to look up at Tidbit, see if he saw any of that. He didn't see the writing. I was hunched over. Well, I can't hunch over.
So
He'd literally fall off.
You really flew.
Yeah.
You flew 9.5 minutes into the sky with one other person was like, hold on, let me do some real quick. He said, just look the other way.
Oh, look, my thought process is Tidbit has no idea what I'm doing. He's like, the cheese is being sketchy again. And so he's going to talk to his god, and his god's not going to give him information if he won't give him snacks. I'm good.
Yeah, a lot. Yes, a lot to process. Tidbit, you tell me how much of that you gathered, or what you're doing as you are sitting in the sky, 9.5 minutes in the air. You can see Statue City. You see the stretch of the Court of Summer. If you only look to your north, which is the way that your chariot is facing, you see Statue City, and you can see far off, almost just northwest, you can see a little speckle of the Kingdom of Harmony.
Well, we saw the cheese pull out a magical chest out of nowhere.
Yeah. He did manifest a chest out of nowhere. That did happen.
You know, I think
that might have
probably.
piqued my interest, I feel. So
What's
with
that
a
on?
passive 20 perception, be watching that good enough for you, or
Do I need to roll?
If you're
Yeah,
trying
you
to
could-
discreetly.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm like, deception is like the best. Yeah, you have an argument? I'm here for it. I'm here to help you.
I'm on your head.
I mean, you see me writing it, you see the chest, you see me lick it, you see me put it back in the box and shut it, but do you see the words?
Yeah, I think the thing you would need to know is words and context, because one big thing about this is it's not like you're seeing a text chain. You're only seeing you're not even seeing the message that he's responding to. You're only seeing what he's writing, and even then it's being erased as he's writing it, so it's not staying on the paper. But
I mean, I
Let's-
say
let's
go
do it.
for it. I mean, if you have a
let's do a
passive perception that
contested-
big.
yeah, let's get Scott. Let me get a sleight of hand check. Let me see,
Okay.
let me see how good you are.
This could decide.
Also, you're such a
so
weird
much
shaped body.
between us.
It's like, this is a box
got-
of doom roll.
You got blessed.
Yeah, you blessed me to lie to you. All right, what
Oh,
am I
that's
rolling?
funny.
Sleight of hand.
Let's hope with the finale of Lucky, I'm lucky. All in within 10 minutes, I blew through my luckies. It was just one above. I'll take a flash of genius. I'm using, like, literally, that's the it of all of that. And then a bless.
I'm working for it.
16.
Alas. Yeah, with that passive 20, you see that you.
I can imagine you just like saying everything you wrote out loud.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things because it feels like you are in this moment. Tidbit has to feel like what Summer Song feels like when he is like observing Tidbit. You see this guy put you on his head, and he's like, "You comfortable? Great." Flies you into the air, looks around, says, "That beautiful sight." Manifests a chest you've never seen out of nowhere. Starts to write a message on it. Realizes like in his like splendor that you are on his head, and starts to cover it up. But also you are he's a cheese wheel. Like it's not even like you got like shoulders. So it's just
Yeah.
like you were moving with him, and you're just kind of like looking over it, just like reading the stuff. But also, as you're like reading it, you can hear that he's verbally monologuing these things out. It's like a made with a manifesto. You definitely it reminds you of also like when you see your classmates ferociously studying for an exam and you have never related to that in your life. You're like, oh, you look stressed about something, like something's going on that you don't have any like reference for, and you're recognizing that that's the disconnect you're having. Like secret message, don't know what it is, but I always know that people often are stressed around me because they're not touched by God, so don't know what it's like to like have to worry about things. But you see this cheese writing this note, and then it vanishes. And then it's silent. It's that silent. It's just like
Beautiful view.
I don't mean to overstep,
Then don't.
but
Just
it
don't do it.
seems like but maybe it seems as if perhaps you're having trouble with your job. Employment can be tough, from what I'm told by others.
Yeah, fucking boss is cracking down on me.
Oh, Tidbit's heard that before. Grr.
Tidbit, do you drink?
yeah.
Tidbit
Tibbet loves water. What do you mean?
Tidbit loves water. Tidbit is not of age technically. I believe. Tidbit has not been given drink.
I can make the age solo, and you still wouldn't be old enough because you're literally such a young person.
Sometimes I'd like to, have a couple drinks with you, give you your first one. Here's some of your secrets. I want to know Tidbit. All these questions about who's the fucking cheese, who's the fucking frog. That's what I'm saying.
Where the frog is chosen by. Wait, can we? Are you gonna be able to fly us back?
As you say that out loud,
Yeah.
as you make that realization of, oh, can you? Ding, ding, whoop, and the spell starts to drop. And we're gonna see what Urside is doing. Urside, you see your friends have grabbed roots on the ground. There's a fairy dancing around them. The cheese and the frog have propelled themselves into the air. Who knows when they'll be back? Where are they going? They didn't say. And you and your blights, you stand there. You got a little gunk on your hands from being inside the rot beast, but
I'm gonna wipe it on my clothes.
Roche is wipe it, of course.
I don't have much that I can do. I'm gonna cast speak with plants for a second. I have like a 30-foot radius of I imbue plants within 30 feet of me with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow simple commands. I can question them about events and in this spell's area within the past day, gaining information about creatures, blah blah blah. I'm just they probably hurt, and so I'm probably just like giving like thoughts and prayers. Hey, don't worry, we're doing something. We're doing something. Doing big things here. We're with you though. I'm so sorry. We're trying to fix this. So just like words of comfort, thoughts and prayers. That lasts for about 10 minutes. I can only imagine that thoughts and prayers don't go very far. So after that, I'm like, ugh.
I will say, considering that I am also in that radius and I would also fit all of those qualifications, Desiree will hear all of those thoughts and prayers because she is also plant-like and sentient to some degree. And so she's going to automatically assume while she's in this meditative state that this is Ursine's extension of friendship towards her by like encouraging her on this plight. Even though she can't like acknowledge it or say anything, but little mental note back there for everybody.
I'm dead that she's plant-like, but
Right,
like,
I always
it is a
just
plant, but
recalled
it's sentient-like versus being plant-like and being fully sentient. I love that because it's just like I'm all plant, I'm just not all here.
I mean, I think that fits.
Yeah.
It's aggressively accurate, and I'm mad about it. You are an ecosystem. You are aware of everything and also nothing. It's perfect. Ursign, as you're kind of walking around, you kind of start on the perimeter. You're getting like, as you are giving out thoughts and prayers, you're feeling like reciprocity from the plants. Like they are, they're speaking back to you. They're just kind of, they're not really saying much. It's kind of like it almost sounds like labored breath, like they're trying to speak, but they're just very tired. And as you start to move yourself towards Desiree, it gets quieter. You notice as you move into that decay-filled area, there's just a lot less sound until you get to Desiree, and then you feel it is a thunder of potential. It is not a voice, but it is the power to be any voice in that moment. And you kind of like see her sitting there. You see her like hands in the ground. She's gripped roots that are of unhuman colors. Like they're just like, orange and red, and she's got them almost like Santa Claus on a sleigh. Like she's like got these roots that's like sending energy through them, and you're watching it surge out. You're watching her like feed the force off of her energy as she's casting plant growth. And you kind of sit next to her. You see Sylvie kind of amplifying the energy, kind of like making Sylvie, make me a spell attack. It's not attack anything, but just like, just a spell.
I mean, I do also like have the cantrip druid craft that I could like just be pumping constantly.
Give me that one. Yeah. And so we'll say with the attack roll, we'll say the spell attack roll and the druid craft backing.
Spell attack roll is going to be 14 plus 9, 23.
Oh yeah. You kind of like start to dance around, and you like make a little petal. You make a little flower that starts to grow out of the center, like almost right in front of Desiree. And then as Urson kind of walks over, he's like having that moment with and feels Desiree's energy. He kind of finds himself almost in that same triangle shape pattern that he was in, that his familiars made, or his blights make when they start to commune. And he finds himself in there, and in the center is this little flower. With the power of your druid craft, Desiree's plant growth, and Ursine's speak with animals, and the blank slate that is this place right now, comboed with the creative birthing nature of not only the Feywild, but the Court of Summer, the three of you feel connected in a way that you could... Well, I'll say that Desiree feels empowered enough that she feels that she could dictate what the life here, the new life here looks like. She feels like she could do more than just make plants grow back. She could decide that she wants a bunch of different kind of plants here. She could decide that she wants them to grow in like these specific patterns and make gardens. She realizes that like while she's in this moment connected to the earth, to her party, she has not only the power to grow plants, but to communicate with them, to tell them what to do, to craft them into these shapes that could be a new place. So you look out at this, we've called you a gardener before, you look out at this empty bed of untilled land, and your hands are on the roots, and you squeeze them, and that dim light erupts into a bright fire, and the ground starts to smoke and simmer, and then all the decay just starts to come up and flare as you see them just like wisping away into smoke and soot. And then you see it kind of like float up and then immediately just drop back down to the ground as the ground is covered in layers of soot and ash. And then you see little buds start to come and grow out of the ground. Desiree, is there anything that you will think about when you're making this, that it comes to your brain? Any I know you don't know Fae Flowers, Erica, the person, but any like colors or any like specific energies or vibe that you want to encapsulate in this place? You realize that Erica, can have Desiree leave her mark on this place in any way that she wants to.
I feel like being a true nature lover at her heart, the whole thing about nature is like preserving it in a way that it feels like it's never been like touched or like disturbed by any other thing, and that it's growing in like the way that it naturally always was supposed to be. So I feel like she would make everything to a T exactly the way it was before. Like every root is exactly the same, every leaf that was there before this decay is placed exactly the same, except it would be like twice as strong, twice as healthy. Like she would pour extra energy into making sure that this like area never has to experience this again, because she would almost empathize with like the pain that they experienced and like the decay that happened to them. She would feel those feelings and take them on too, and want to pour such power and energy into it so that it would never happen to them again. But also, she wouldn't. Her mark would be not leaving a mark, because when you're enjoying nature, the whole point of that is to leave no trace. You know.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
she wants it to be restored exactly the way it was.
A true druid. And you set that intention into you, and it kind of passes through the network, and then it hits our friend Sylvie. Sylvie, you feel an understanding of the intention that is being set forth by um, Desiree as she is doing this. You also have the awareness with your weavery that you also have a vote in this. Um, it's a 3-part harmony that is happening here. But you have the ability to, up or down the intuitive feeling you're getting from as Desiree, which is everything she just said, but it is translated in a feeling, in a moment, in an instance. And you're just like, and you have that moment. Or you can elaborate how you feel about it, but that is what you feel.
I mean, I think Sylvie thinks it's quite beautiful and quite noble to kind of like go at it in the regard in which she's giving it. So definitely thumbs upping and following suit, going with the flow. I am here to just flow my energy and magic and boost Desiree right now.
Perfect. You feel that energy kind of like set in you, stir around, and then leave you as it kind of goes in your left hand and out of your right hand. And it washes over our friend Ursine, who stands there or sits there. But you are there, present, and you feel this energy wash over you. You feel the intention that hits, you feel the intention that comes from Desiree. Everything she said hits you in a feeling in a moment, and it washes around you. It does not come the way of Sylvie, so it's going the opposite way. So you don't know how Sylvie feels about this, but you do know how Desiree feels about it. And much like Sylvie recognizes, you also play a part in this. You are the aspect that is communicating with the forest, that is just getting it to do more. But do you feel of similar nature?
Yeah, I feel that warmth and like definitely try to enhance that. And I look down, and my blights have their hands in the ground like it's in wet cement, and they're making handprints in there. I'm like, oh guys, we had a beautiful thing going on. Sorry. Sorry about that. Is that gonna stay forever? Is that gonna? I don't know how this works.
Yeah, they are in a smaller triangle around you. Like you are making a big triangle, then your 3 blights are triangled around you, like Hollywood Walk of Faming, like they're prints on the ground around you. But you can send to the energy, and it moves through you, and it moves. The energy from you and Sylvie hit simultaneously. They bounce off each other. You kind of feel energy wrapping around you as a. Everyone can make me a charisma saving throw.
That's a 2.
Oh, I said everyone, but I really meant those 3 people.
Oh, this is my strong side. Oh, and I nat 20.
Oh,
I got a nat 1.
I got an 8 minus 1. It's a 7.
And that's right. What did you get?
A nat 1 plus 1, so a 2.
Ursine and Desiree, you are nature girlies. You feel as empowered as you always do when you are doing your thing, which is being one with nature, whether it be protecting it like Ursine does or preserving it like Desiree does. And then there is our friend Sylvie. There, you have heard of magic that feels like this. Your mom hates it. She looks very down on it. She calls it coven magic. It's the idea that you are stronger with other people, which is just against her entire being. She
Oh
does not
yeah.
believe that she's strong. She's like, "What? No, I can do it myself." And you feel that innate power not only within you but within the two people you are communing with. You know that you can see that Desiree is a powerful witch in her own right. She can turn into animals. She's literally on fire. She communes with like weird fire things that teleport out of existence. Like you talking some hot bitches, but she talking some hot bitches. Like that's
Right.
you're like
That's the
the
vibe.
similarities are a little interesting. She just is not as aggressive as you are about literally anything. But you're just over aggressive about everything. Um, and then there's something that is interesting about Ursine in a different way. Ursine feels like his magical signature is that of it gives cleric, it gives he's a conduit of like he is a vessel of greater power. It may not be his. You don't know if he's able to tap into it. You've also seen him do some weird shit. He like when he first got here, he did the whole like he has 3 blights with him, so that's always just kind of weird because what? He also his relationship with them is just so smooth, but you saw how he like moves with them, and that to you looks like a coven. Like the way like he works with those things is so intrinsic. The four of them move as one being, almost combined. That is what coven magic is stepping outside of yourself and committing yourself to a cause, and that is the power you feel in this place. As you see the ground around you, like I said, the soot burns up, falls to the ground, and you start to see plants start to grow out of the ground. And it's not as organized as it would seem because Desiree has never been to this place before, this specific area. The plants all have been here, so she's regrowing the things that were here, and you watch as these plants start to grow out of the ground. Well, the first thing you notice is your friends start to descend from the air. But we'll get back to that in a second. Because
Yeah, it doesn't look like slow fall to me.
This takes a bit of time. This is like 10 minutes. This is 10 minutes, so it's a good cut up to them falling. But she's working into the ground, and you see these plants starting to form up, but they look like they are like lost. It's almost like if you had a bunch of little kids and they all had like on different colored shirts and you're trying to make an image, but the kids don't know what the image is, and so you're like trying to get them to move around. That's what all the plants and flowers are doing. They're all like being birthed, but like not in the right places, and everyone's looking for
They need
the
direction.
because they're trying to get back to like the place that was. But it's just like that's the early parts of the spell. So you figure like in 7.5 hours they'll probably get it together and everyone will be present, and attendance can be taken and they'll be in the right spot. But you're just watching like her magic is just chaotic. It's like a wildfire. Like she is calm, but this is not. And so you watch that fire just kind of grow up and start to run around. Our two friends in the air who start to descend. You kind of have that moment of, well, how long can you stay up here? And whoop, you start to fall. You hit that. You like kind of flip over, and you see down as the ground goes from this gray, purple, brown muckiness. It glows red-orange, very familiarly red-orange. Then you see it goes black. And you are just descending. And I'm sure Sky has a plan to not get you killed as you fall from the sky.
Yeah, but we're gonna fall for a good at least like couple.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Shh. Just looking at Tidbit, like, what does he know while we're falling?
This is new.
Falling?
Yes.
You've never well, I guess you're not that tall. Feather fall. We get close to the bottom, just level out and float down to the bottom.
Like a parachute catching you is just
all right.
Beautiful.
Well,
Beautiful.
So
Made it.
I'm gonna go over there, okay?
Oh. Okay.
Just gonna walk away.
And as you both get back down, you notice the biggest thing you notice is the scene has changed. The space you're in it's undergoing renovations. It still looks fucked up, but like it's been gutted. They're like painting the walls. Things are obviously happening here, but it's not full of nasty decay and gushiness. It is a space under reconstruct, a space under new growth. But the party is temporarily reconvened as the three witches are. Oh, also you see that the three witches are sitting in like a triangle, like not holding hands, hands on the ground. Like Desiree's hands are in the ground holding roots. You see, Sylvie is like dancing in the air, and there's a flower in front of her that she's like obviously like has some sort of sway over, and you see Ursine standing there, his blights in a triangle around him, and he's just like talking. He's just muttering to himself, just like intently, just as he speaks with plants, and is like in that transic state. So you see your three party weirdos being weird.
Yep. I'm just gonna cut wood to build things later, I guess.
The fact that he's cutting wood right now while we're doing this is such
Right? It's tragic, honestly.
Just get a bunch of shards.
Thank God I can't see this happening.
It's like gonna be helpful.
Just like little bits of skin. Sorry, bark.
Skin to thumb, I guess.
Goofy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna be doing.
You take a little strut away. You get a little. You get out of sight and an extra. You get out of sight and then a little extra further because you just know you have a very perceptive party. So you just want to feel extra safe that you are alone. And you do find yourself alone. And you stand in the forest. It doesn't stink actively. You can smell. It doesn't stink. You can't smell. It doesn't stink. That's a neutral statement. It doesn't anything right now. It's just
No idea what you're talking
honestly beautiful gowns. Like it's pretty, but like you don't get the hubbadoo. It's like it's just a forest, isn't it? Like great. It's hot.
Yeah.
Yes, and so you recognize that. Anything you want to do in your solitude, or you just trying to be away?
I know. I'm just cutting bits of wood. I just want to stockpile on some wood bits that I could cut and stuff to make darts later, or fix little bits of machinery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, you can absolutely do that. Make me a survival check.
No, not one. Nothing is happening. I'm too distracted, gloating about.
My powers are beating you from harvesting the wood.
When I go to cut and it just pushes my knife out. What the fuck?
It's just
like water.
Yeah, I think you end up getting so stressed between like trying to avoid your party because you want to have some alone time and trying to find the right like tree to cut. You do that thing where you just don't end up cutting anything. You're just like walking around for a long time being like, no, not that one.
So
no, not that one. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right, well, I'm
you just
definitely
feel
going to think about that message about how Cherry Pie is leading the songs that will start the brining that is a combination of efforts by Olivine and Van Greech. So that's crazy. Like, I'm thinking to myself, wow, Van Greech literally will do anything to please Olivine to get back home, knowing they want to get back to where they're from. So I'm just going to be thinking about, when I get to Sanjay's Impact, the stuff I'm going to get. They need it. They need it for what they're working on, the original landing spot. And so I'm just going to be trying to formulate more of a plan with the information I have. That's it. Just thinking about it.
Do you think this is something for you to think about, or for me to think about? Do you think that? What are your feelings on Van Greech's alliance to Olivine with what you know? Like, do you think that Olivine is actually going to be able to help you get what you want?
All I know is that the Warforged of Van Greech are from a different realm, and that their realm was pillaged by Cthulhu. And a lone Warforged came to the material plane and began a new civilization that is trying to get back home. And Cthulhu was taken away from their realm to this place. But then Olivine sent it right back. And he knows how to end it. And he says, Van Greech, you do what I say, I will help you around.
Okay.
They're bitches.
Okay.
They're bitches.
Okay.
They're doing dirty stuff to the ocean.
Perfect. And an intelligence saving throw is the last I'll ask of you, and I'll leave you to your solitude.
Do I still have Bless?
Probably not at this point.
Yeah, I
Probably
think
not.
only lasts
Okay.
like a minute.
Intelligence?
Yes.
25. I didn't even need it. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't even look at my modifier.
I'll just say that the things you said, you feel very like the things that you feel, the things that you also feel are all true. That is the thing I'll put into your
Cocky.
brain in this moment. Yeah,
I'm on the
it's
right
like,
path.
oh,
Cool.
this information is like great. And tidbit, you land on the ground. Your friend leaves you. You see three witches in the middle, being real weird, but effective. They're kumbayaing. The grass is grassing. How are you?
Well, they're busy. So Tibbet's gonna go just lay down by like a tree. It's just gonna pop off the cantrip thaumaturgy, make some harmless rumblings in the ground for a minute, just kind of get a little back massage going. And we're just gonna pop that off every minute for the next 8 hours, I think. And then he's all the while Tidbit's just sitting there thinking about that letter he read. He's just like, I don't know, maybe the cheese works at a bakery. Would make sense.
Yes.
Goofy. Yes, and you sit there with that home built tree massager. Trying to think if there's anything that I'm curious about on your brain. What do you think about people have been talking about Olivine and his death, and in general, it's like it is a thing people like know of but don't really speak about in the Fae. But also, you know that the school you graduated from, its like its intentional conception was to go against Olivine. So I feel like you're recognizing like, oh, if Olivine is no longer here, what does that mean for the school? What does that mean? If that means that for the school, what does that mean for the Fae? You also know that the school is affecting the ley lines. As a person who's privileged to far too much information, how are you handling that?
I always felt like, of all the things, Tibbet never paid too much attention about the Olivine stuff. Because everybody at school wanted to stop Olivine, end Olivine, but I'm kind of chosen by God and I'm all about the peace thing, so I kind of already had something going for me. I didn't need that extra work. So I don't think Tidbit knows it's really all that important yet.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Perfect. That probably explains why you ended up majoring in the Court of Winter, the hardest court. You're like, I need something to do. Maybe that was so easy. Okay, perfect. And so you find yourself just kind of chilling, just kind of ruminating through thought as you just, kind of move around as it into your back, perfectly. My witches, well, the witches who can leave the space that they're in, so not Desiree. My other witches, what are you up to? I feel like he does like freeze.
Yeah, no, I was letting Andrew go.
I'm probably just spending my effort trying to get the blights to not hinder Desiree's efforts.
Yes, you definitely see that is a maybe an animal handling check. And it's definitely something that like you have to do because they're very much not. They're more pro decay than they are pro life as they are blights. And so they're like their brain is like, oh no, stop that. Bad things are happening. So they're trying to like stop out the new growth.
Murder it.
Okay, I rolled an 18 and I rolled a 2. But the 2 goes up to a 11 with animal handling.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? If they're being a real menace, I'll use that DM inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I just use the 18 as the?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
I think it save you some time. Yeah, you were able to. It is a process that like just like it doesn't take you the whole 8 hours, but it takes you like a lot of effort because of the role. You always will succeed on the catch. But it's a lot of like just like trying to like do anything else, and then like peripherally you're like nope, or it's you like manifesting your echo because it makes them stand still together for as long as possible, and then they run off, and you're like, nope, and you just kind of keep bringing it back together. So it's just like you doing these little things over time to keep them
For
wrangled.
8 hours. For
Yeah.
8 hours.
It's literally like being a single father.
But they do minimal damage. The places that they originally like started, you can see it has that like Hollywood Walk of Fame. Like there are some like indentions from where they are that are just like permanently not decayed, but like
There's a tree with one of their faces just like imprinted on it.
it's just all through their faces going up the tree, and it's like and so you have like little like signatures of theirs around, but no outright destruction and chaos. And so it's pretty easy to keep up with them. But they do spend a lot of time focusing themselves around Dysandra. So you're like running interference specifically to keep them from like messing with her, which you do. So outside of them being cute and dead plants, not too much. Fairy girl, fairy boy, fairy friend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sylvie.
So I take it we can do as we please. Like we've bolstered Desiree to where we need to bolster her to.
Yeah, she is in full like conductor mode. Like the plants are all growing up, and she is kind of like she is doing what Erica does. I feel like in her day-to-day life, she is just like getting kids to be in the right place long enough.
Right time, yeah.
It's a lot of effort just to hold them there while she moves it around to see if that's right. And she's like, no, that's not right. And so she's just kind of
fair. I feel like I've discovered new things about Desiree, at least in my assumptions of her after this like moment. And I'm gonna take a moment to read some of her books that she offered me to read back at our house, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna deep dive into this bitch's mind because that's a more intriguing place than I thought. And then also like, I do need to see what this bitch is up to because Auntie like has me on like reconnaissance, so there might be information in here I can piece together from that little tidbit I've been sent on as well. Not tidbit, the frog, but
yeah. What book do you grab, and or what kind of book are you looking to grab if you don't have a specific answer for this?
I'd say too, all of what she has on her person, she doesn't have many actual books. Most of them are journals of things that are like from her knowledge that she's written down. So it would be very hard to like go through her belongings and find like a whole book by somebody else on a topic.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the word book was definitely like more like journal of your crazy thoughts
Her
because
mind
I've
book.
seen how you're like, yeah, literally. I'm like, I've seen how she like goes and jots down like notes when she's learning about something new at this point quite a few times because the bitch been learning while around.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, in my brain, in my interpretation of the journals and things, it's like I guess like categories. It's like, oh, well, this one is like I write about monsters and things. This one I write about people. So I guess like when I was saying books, like if you know like that kind of energy of what you're looking for, or if you just like picking one up and like hoping for the best, you can also do that. But
yeah, I would say that they would definitely be like color coded, tabbed out, table of context, like index everything, you know.
Yeah, well, with the information I was given on what I need to look out for within like your findings, it's more of like I feel like I'm looking for a group of people, and now with like Shadowfell being like told to me or like coming to me with the understanding of like what kind of magic we were just dealing with, I feel like any inclination of like I don't know, I guess what we would consider like the bad guys, like does that make sense?
yes. Make me a investigation or insight.
Yeah, we want to do insight. That would be a 21.
Okay. She's looking for people and or things that Desiree would consider foes, particularly Shadowfell or any of the likes. I guess foes that would be foes of, because what she stands for, of the Fae.
Yeah,
accurate.
correct.
Yeah. You kind of like read through some books. 21 insight. As you're kind of moving through, you note a lot of her information. I guess one of the big things you note is a lot of her information is not on external threats of the Fae. That is, you're not sure if that's something that like the Fae is just not worried about, or if that is just something that Desiree is not worried about or focused on. But you can tell that her go-to thing is interpersonal affairs. Like she's basically like, for the Tanner brain, like she is like the IA for the cops. Like she's like the cop who investigates the cops. So she's always like looking into things of that nature. So typically it's like internal threats. Now, the thing that you will note is, much like yourself, there are some threats who can go unaware because they themselves are not threats, but they are the fingers or fingernails of a threatening being. So you find inclinations of information like that. People who she has found inside, or either she has found or been tipped off to inside the alumni organization, who have some either extraplanar dealings with people from other dimensions, warlocks, great old ones. There's mentions of she writes out the word hag. There are mentions of hags in there. That is hags are probably the one Fae thing that you notice in there outside of the reference of Shadowfell. So when it comes down to like things that are in the Fae that they worry about, or she has books on, it's Shadowfell and hags, but it's because they often use people to do things. Not that they are worried about actual hags or the actual Shadowfell. It's agents of hags. It's agents of the Shadowfell. She's worried about people like you, except if you were a member of the alumni. You would be people she was trying to get rid of. But because you're not an alumni, she don't give a fuck about you, you don't give a fuck about her. And so it works out in your favor. But the Shadowfell is very dangerous, but that's all that's really known about it. It's just like, if the Fae is life, then the Shadowfell is death.
Yeah.
And even that's what your auntie says. Like, there's not much to say about the Shadowfell because it's pretty cut and dry. It's kill or be killed, and everything's trying to kill. And so if you're down there, you're a baddie. Or you're not there for a long time.
Yeah.
It is one of her favorite places to send people. Her favorite places to send people when she's like wants them to die and like to be tortured. She'll send them to Shadowfell because once you're there, if you're not strong enough, you just die. And so it's like it's a death sentence without killing anybody.
That makes sense.
Like, oh, let's go through this doorway. All your dreams will come true. And now you're in the Shadowfell and you're dead, and now your soul goes to her. And she's like, oh, well.
Oh, clean conscience. That's what that means.
Where'd you learn that from?
I have no idea.
But yes, threats to the Fae are Shadowfell, hags, and then her specialty is interpersonal connections to inside the alumni.
Yeah, and since I'm not an alumni, she won't necessarily be after me, even though I'm doing the exact thing that she's after.
Yes.
Right? I interpreted that right?
Yeah, the reason that it's not a problem to you is because you're not
alone.
You are evil and outside versus evil and a part of a healthy body system, like a healthy system. Like if she ran you in the streets, she would have to just fight you.
Okay.
Not in the Fae, and that is kind of like what that you kind of learn about it. That you learn about Desiree. It's like they have tried to make it as objective as possible. It's like these things are we fight, these things we don't. Which for you is a pro and a con. Like your whole thing is I will say for the first time on stream, as a boy hag, your whole thing is being the antithesis of what people expect when they see a hag. So it's going against the standard. But if there is no standard, then it's hard to go against. So you need them to be regimented like this so that you can go, if that's what you're looking for, I just have to not be that, and now I'm no longer what you're looking for. It's your whole birth concept.
That part.
That's why you exist. That's why mommy has you. Because no one ever sees you coming.
Mm-mm.
But is there any other any other information you would like to pursue. I will say you can, if you wanted to, you could try to look into what she is actively investigating. Or if you wanted to like look into anything that I've already rambled about, then you're welcome to. But
I mean, no, I feel like I would rather pick her conscious mind over what she's actively investigating than like stumble through her frenzied thoughts, so to say. So I think I got what I wanted out of those reads.
And I will say it does line up to that thing she said where she spent a lot of time in school not being seen, and a lot of her notes do give that. It's observations she's made about it's observations she's made about people while they're doing things. It's like how people study animals by like being like, I'm gonna hide over here and watch them do stuff. It's like how she views other people. It's like I'm gonna watch them from afar. They don't know I'm watching them, so I can see how they actually react. And that's how she writes all of her stuff down. It's just objective information. It's never like, oh, your breath stinks. It's like has bad breath. Is bad, doesn't wake up in the mornings. Like
it's always like a statement of fact.
Yeah. It's nothing. Yeah, nothing. It's like personal. She's just like bad at magic. Like it's just like they're like very blunt things in there. Don't look for the page.
Understanding Desiree's mind better. That's all. Yeah. Once I'm done with that, I'll just go lounge with Tidbit.
Other side of the tree, like ooh, you can feel him rumbling the tree.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit on another side of the tree. Except I'm also gonna druid craft us some mossy like cushions that really form to our shape, and give us more comfort.
Yes, we deserve it.
We do. It's been a long day, Tidbit.
Some lazy
Barely
witches
started.
And our final girly, can you make me either Desiree, if that wasn't clear? Can you make me a what do I want?
Nature.
I think I'm just gonna do for me a spell attack. She's already done the thing, so whatever a cantrip attack roll would be, I'm gonna roll that.
That's a 16.
Yeah, so you kind of you're holding on to these. I'm really into this sleigh thing now. You hold on to these roots, and you're kind of like Santa meets an orchestrator or a conductor. You are like sitting energy into it every so often, but also trying to dictate where things should go based purely off feeling, which is hard for most people. But you're an intuitive like girl. That's all you do is based off feeling. You use some logic too, but you kind of like are having some time sending them to the right locations. But you feel as it's going on, you're hitting like hour 4 at this point. You're feeling very confident. It's almost like, I don't know if you, Erica, know what it's like to pick a safe. It's when like they're leaning up to it, and it's like a lot of like the twisting of the thing. And you're listening for it to like lock into place, and that's what you're doing as you're like moving plants around. You're just kind of like you're moving them around until it just feels like, oh, that one's right. But it's one plant at a time. So as you're moving mass flowers, you're like, oh, I got one right, and then like a wardle, but it's like infinite things. You're like, okay, well, this is in the right area, but not in the right section. So you're just moving stuff around like a manic gardener, but you're very stoic in real life. You're just sitting there holding, concentrating, like almost looks like you're pooping. Like you're just like very into it as you are concentrating, as things are just chaos is just ensuing in front of you as all these things are moving around. But it is coming together. They are starting to grow up out of the ground. Also, things are growing as they're being arranged. So it's not like a bunch of seedlings. It's like sometimes it's getting to like things are becoming full trees and not in the right location. So trees are just moving themselves to be in the right spot as flowers are moving around them, and like different levels of vegetation as you get grass, flowers, different, horticulture words. But you spend a lot of time with that, and you will spend the last 4 hours successfully doing this as Ursine has running interference for you. And
can we take a short rest during that time?
You absolutely can take a short rest, except for Desiree. You can take a short rest. A short rest that lasts about a week, because we will see you all next week here on Adventures in Silvermell. Silvermell.
The sister company.
Campaign 5. Oh, we'll be back, my friends. We'll be here. We'll have lights. Who knows? We like ambiance.
Yeah, we better.
We'll at least have a clean fave forest.
A clean safe forest as we head off to Desiree's family tree. Fun, fun, fun. What could go wrong? All right, my friends. Goodbye.
Yeah.